Yeah,
and I
they
think
do.
that's what this podcast will do as well, is like, like we all come from different walks of life, right?
Yeah.
We all suffer the same way. Like this isn't just a thing for bad people to go through with addiction. And like, that is definitely what the world thinks, oh, you're lazy, like you don't care about your life. And like, that certainly wasn't true for me. Like I was like in Tulane University. I was working at like NASA, literally somehow got that job. But I was also like shooting heroin in the fucking parking lot, you know?
Freak too, so that's good.
Yeah, he came in and was like, getting it, getting it.
It's better than our coworker that used to spray down you'd get off of a chair and he'd spray the Lysol down before he sat in it.
Yeah.
It's like, what do I have, cooties or something?
I mean, you just get up and your coworker just sprays it down. And he's like, I'm going to sit here now.
Yes.
Oh.
He didn't last long.
Yeah.
He didn't last long. Yeah, he was weird.
Yeah. I mean, that's weird.
Yeah.
It was a little OCD for sure.
Well, yeah, that's what you want to call it.
I was like offended I was like, okay.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Are you serious? They told us to ask about the hedgehog. Should we wait?
Yeah, we want to know about the hedgehog.
The hedgehog.
Is that what
Who's
it is?
they? Who's they? Candy?
No. Who told us to wait?
Shane?
Shane?
Yeah, Shane told us to ask about it.
Oh. I very first, like, actually not the very first, but it was the very first audiobook I ever did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really into audiobooks now.
Yeah.
Me too.
My business partners, they were like, "Oh, you got to read the book From Good to Great." And I read it. I mean, I didn't read it.
Yeah, it was an audiobook.
See, here's the thing.
You read it, okay? You read it.
Because I'm like, 15 books deep now.
Right.
And I tell people that I read these books.
Yeah.
And for me, it actually works better than if I read it, because if I read it, I retain less information than if I listen to it.
Yeah.
Now, if I really want to retain all the information, it would be better if I had the book in front of me and headphones
listen
on
to it.
and listen to it.
I know. I tend to multitask. Like I'll walk or something, and
I'm usually in my car.
Yeah, or in the car. Yeah. I consider myself an auditory learner. I don't know if that's like a real thing, but I have to listen to, even like with my textbooks and stuff. Luckily nowadays they make them.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. So like I can listen to them all, which is so helpful, because when I'm like reading in a book, like it doesn't stick.
I will say the voices on the textbook audios are alarming.
She's always calling me, and like my audio book is like playing in the background. I'm like, it's like,
it sounds so scary.
Have you guys, do you ever speed up the books?
Yeah.
Because that's
like
what
1.5 is where I like to sit.
Oh, 1.5.
Yeah. Well, because I'm getting better at it.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
I usually do 1.25 unless I can't stand the person's voice,
And
which that happens sometimes.
Yes.
So at 1.5, it's like, okay,
yeah,
I can do
I can
this.
get through it.
Yep. I can't do 1.75 though. I can't even understand what they're saying.
No, yeah, it's too much.
So there's the hedgehog concept in that book, and then hedgehogs, they're very simplistic creatures.
Yeah.
And when in business, when you're giving people direction, you want to give very simplistic directions.
Yeah.
It even talks about it in how the military, when they give out missions to people and they give out directives, they make them very simplistic and they're step by step, very easy to follow.
Okay.
I like that.
So,
keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
So Candy heard me talk about it, and she bought this hedgehog, and then she had her husband, who works for us, bring it in and put it on my desk. And for 2 weeks, I was walking around trying to figure out who put this hedgehog on my desk and where it came from. So I was asking everybody, right? And it was like 2 weeks went by, and finally my sister's like, "Did you ever figure out who put the hedgehog on your desk?" I was like, "No, I have not." She's like, "It was me." I was like,
funny.
"Oh, that's hilarious." I would have never thought it was her I don't know why.
I know it kind of sounds like her though. Something she would do.
Yeah.
We love her.
She's a little quirky like that.
Yeah.
We do love her.
Yeah.
She's the best.
Yeah. She's smart too, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we just talk shop. Like when we go there, we go to visit her.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be there for like 5 minutes. We're there for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That way you're getting your money's worth.
Yeah.
That's
A little therapy out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you guys do? I know the answer to this question, but
right.
I like to ask.
Yeah. Give us the platform to say.
Thank you so much.
There's
Thank you so much. Should I go first or you?
You can go first.
I'm a client advocate.
nice.
Yeah.
Where at?
At Hotel California by the Sea.
Is it by the sea?
One
Sometimes.
property is. One.
Sometimes, because I do own Hope by the Sea, right?
I know.
Yeah.
And this building is mostly Hope by the Sea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the clients will make jokes like Hope by the railroad tracks. Or, just
Oh yeah, you hear it all, you know.
Yeah. They gonna
We were
find
really
something.
impressed by the facility though. We got a little tour from
Oh, you did?
Yes.
your COO.
Peter?
Yeah. Was it Peter?
I don't know. Your
that
corner
compliance,
office.
your lead
Was he
compliance. guy.
bald?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bald guy?
Yeah, real nice
Yes.
guy. Yeah.
Nice, yeah. Really
And
nice guy.
I just have to say the gym,
yeah, the
Wow.
gym.
very impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I will admit that I built that.
It's cool.
Not by
He
not
told us.
by hand.
Yeah, right.
That was your idea.
By
though.
brain.
Yeah. Yeah, the Lakers theme, apparently.
Yeah.
You're a big fan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of LeBron James, so I just want to put that out there.
Okay.
I love the
That means
Lakers.
nothing to us.
Yeah. Yeah. Just so you know who you're with right now.
Yeah.
Not sports girls.
Yeah.
You know?
So
I was heartbroken for Kobe though.
Oh yeah, that
yeah.
was sad.
That was a really messed up thing.
Yeah.
For
It was
that
even worse
nation.
just because like his daughter was on board,
Yeah.
and then the one of the coaches of Orange Coast College baseball coach, his wife and kids, I think, or
Right.
daughter. There was another family on there. Like there's a girl. I don't know the exact, but somebody is still alive because they weren't on the trip and their whole family is gone.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And that shit is heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking.
Tragic. There's
You know?
no other word, you know?
You guys do know the reason why we started this podcast?
No.
No?
Well, tell us again.
My my daughter lost her boyfriend of 5 years
Yeah.
to fentanyl. We call it fentanyl poisoning now because
Okay.
there is no safe dose of fentanyl, illicit fentanyl. So every time you take fentanyl, it's a poisoning, not an overdose. So it's kind of how we're trying to change that. Because
Yeah.
whoever's sending this stuff over is literally trying to kill us off.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yeah. And
So-
we have to do more to fight against it, you
Right.
know?
Mhm.
I mean, it's affecting everyone, you know,
Yeah.
and like younger and younger. Like I've seen more 18-year-olds come into treatment than I ever have, right?
Right.
Even from me being in treatment, like, you know what I mean? And it's just getting really scary because kids think they're invincible,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Um,
And you'd think by now, I mean, we're on what, like the third phase of this epidemic or, whatever. And it's like, why haven't we come up with solutions?
right.
Like I love the Narcan thing and how they're giving it out to everyone now. But like,
It's still
That's
it's
not enough.
It's not a
No.
solution.
no.
That'll save some lives.
Yeah.
I'll
It's treating the
say that.
symptoms,
Yeah.
right? It's
Right.
not dealing with like the core issue.
The root problem.
Yeah.
The root problem is that fentanyl is just flooding across our border,
Yeah.
flooding
Yeah.
across, and that's like. And I in this podcast, the movement. There's people. Everybody there. I haven't talked to an addict or an alcoholic that's like, no, I'm not going to jump on board on your movement.
Right.
You know,
Right.
Everybody that I talk to, because it's not just us. It's not just addicts. It's killing like people that are not addicts.
Right.
I know.
It's killing little kids, young children, teenagers, young adults who have, going out to a
Yeah.
rave or a party or a.
Well,
Think
because
they're
that's how the
doing
kids
cocaine.
experiment nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, like let's take this pill. They have no idea what it is.
Right.
It's like not taboo because it's a pill,
Yeah.
Right.
and then it's fentanyl.
Yeah. It had just hit the market when I got sober in 2017. Like, I tried to stay away from fentanyl patches and all that stuff when I was out doing my thing. And then my last relapse, I was out for like 6 days and I never overdosed before. And so we got this blue pill. I thought it was like a Roxy or something, right? And me and the guy I was with just immediately fell out. Like I woke up, like it was nasty, like it was bad.
Yeah.
And we just went in and out of overdosing for 6 days. Like it was crazy. Crazy.
I've never done fentanyl. I'm an opiate addict, but I got sober before fentanyl was like really the mainstream thing. And, you know, I was an IV user and I never overdosed on heroin.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. You know, that's also not like super common, but like still like the fentanyl is like you're going to overdose.
There's no clients or patients or whatever you want to call them that come through Hope by the Sea who their drug of choice is fentanyl. Not one of them has ever come in here and said, I've never overdosed.
Right.
Yeah.
It comes with the territory.
So
it comes with the territory. Heroin addicts, a lot of heroin addicts come into treatment, but there's no heroin on the streets anymore.
It's not.
It's gone.
It's not even a thing.
Which is
so
crazy. Yeah.
It used to be the scariest word in the room.
Right.
You know, and it's not anymore.
No, it's not.
At all.
I've said crazy stuff like, can we just bring heroin back?
Right.
Like, I mean, because I've been in this business for 22 years.
Yeah.
Since 2001. I've seen the opioid epidemic crisis. Just it's getting worse. It started with the the way it got into like the general population was the OxyContin.
Yeah.
Right, the old OxyContin 80s.
Yeah, that's where I started.
Yep, and you
green with the green covering, and you scrape it off.
Those were
I think even before those ones, there was a group of them that didn't even have any cover on them.
Yeah,
all you had to do was put water on them, and they were
instant.
They were instant,
ready to go.
Those
are the ones I remember too, because I was like 2006, 2007. I was like 16 years old, right?
Yeah.
So I was like a perfect candidate. And I remember I'm from Mississippi, like a small town, right? So like those are the places that they hit, you know? And so, all these kids were just dying. And it was crazy, crazy, crazy. And that's what, kicked me off.
Yeah. And fentanyl is like what? 10 times more powerful than the Oxy 80s, probably.
Oh, I would think so, if not more.
It's 10 times more powerful than heroin.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
And that's like, that's just a small little grain of it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So you guys are opiate addicts?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Old school.
You know? I swear the kids look at us when we say we're heroin addicts and they're like, lame. You know, like it's like that's just not what people do anymore. No.
Do they really think like that?
Yes.
I think they do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, a heroin addict is still like, that's
well, we're the OGs, but like
well, to normal people, like you say you're a heroin addict, it's like, but like with the kids, like they're like
I feel like but I feel like a fentanyl is a pill, and how many of these kids are actually like shooting it? A lot.
No, I think they usually smoke it or snort it. Like
snort it.
Yeah. Smoking is the safest way, and then snorting it, like you're really playing with dangerous stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's why when the kids like think they're buying cocaine and they snort it, it's they die.
Yeah,
and they have no idea that it's coming. So
it's the common theme, man.
Yeah,
and I do see some clients who do shoot it, and it's
I think you'd probably have had to work your tolerance up, like
very high.
Like slowly to get to that point where you smoking it isn't doing it for you anymore.
Yeah, and that's the thing; it builds tolerance really fast,
right?
Really fast, really fast, and like.
But you also lose tolerance really fast too.
Yeah,
you go to rehab for 30 days, and you go out and you try and do the same thing.
That's how you die.
That's how people used to die. Like heroin addicts used to die.
Yeah, totally.
They would go out and try to, they do the same amount of heroin that they used to do. But you didn't see a shit ton of like heroin overdoses.
No.
And it's just insanity. Yeah. So we lost Justin.
I'm so sorry.
He was like a son-in-law to me already.
Yeah.
I was trying to mentor the kid. He was a good kid.
Of course.
He really was a good kid trying to do life. Had a rough upbringing, and anyway.
Sorry.
Was he struggling with addiction, or was it like?
I mean, he struggled with addiction, but he wasn't trying to do that.
Right.
He was trying to do things different.
Yeah.
And
that's when it hurts.
yeah.
When you see that they're like climbing.
Yeah, he was like he was climbing the ladder at his job and doing all this good stuff. And one Sunday morning, it was 9/11. 9/11. My daughter went over to his house at 7 a.m. No. She like knew kind of on her way over there. She could already feel it.
Yeah,
something was wrong.
Scary.
Yeah.
I mean, I lost my brother to an overdose. This was back in like 2010. And it was like, I don't know. It's like so painful, right? Like same thing. He had gotten his life together and then he just slipped, not for very long.
Right.
And he was gone, it's heartbreaking stuff.
It is heartbreaking. And that's why I started this podcast. And because it's not about the podcast or me or Shane. It's about this movement.
Yes.
And, and the way I see it is there's so many addicts and alcoholics in this world that will get beside this movement. I don't like to say behind this movement because like in the program, we don't stand
shoulder to shoulder.
We stand shoulder to shoulder, in Narcotics Anonymous, we put our arms around each other, right?
Right. Yep.
Alcoholics Anonymous, they hold hands.
We hold hands.
Either way works, though, right? You can't break the chain.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
And so I'm building a movement, and I'm going to build this movement, and I know how to put on a nice business suit and walk up to the highest level, and I'm going to sit in there and I'm going to force them to do something about this.
Yeah.
I really am.
Thank you. Somebody has to,
Somebody has to.
It feels so hopeless right now.
Yeah.
It does.
And I don't know, like somebody has to start making some noise.
Yeah.
Can I curse?
Yeah, you can say fuck
okay.
and shit.
Okay. Thank God. Here we go. This is the real me right now. Here we go.
She's like, let me embrace it.
But fuck being the squeaky wheel. Like somebody needs to be yelling.
Right.
Like this is crazy how many people we're losing. It is. And it's a whole generation of young people who are smart and beautiful and good people,
Right.
Like this is affecting everybody. The opioid epidemic in the beginning, we thought, right, was affecting like the youth, but this is like on steroids.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
it
like
is.
taking kids you wouldn't even like think would be fucking around with that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
And that's the hard thing to get across to people who don't understand.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't know how we can make them until they lose somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
But
They don't want to.
I know, but it's
for
gonna
us
happen.
people that have lost somebody. It's a shitty thing. And like I just I think about myself, but more so I think about my daughter, and then even more so I think about his father and his mother.
Yeah.
Like they're not okay.
No.
That was their only son.
No.
That was their only child.
No.
They don't have a child anymore. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's devastating.
I couldn't imagine if my mom didn't have me and my brother there to like keep her going. You know, it was to watch her shatter. Like when it happened, like I knew my mom was never going to be the same mom that I knew. Like I knew that person was gone, and it's just to watch her go through that. I don't think she would have made it if she didn't have me and my other brother.
Right.
Yeah. So that's really, really sad. I'm sorry.
And it's so frustrating. Like, the industry is so broken that we work in. And like, you have to kind of like watch kids walk out the door before they're ready.
Yeah.
Knowing like what could happen.
Right. Well, that's part of policy change that has to happen at the highest level. They can't allow insurance companies to give us
to dictate
to give us 12 days of RTC.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, 5 days of detox, 12 days of RTC. You're good to go.
Yeah.
You're
Get
good
out
to
there
go
on the real world.
You're good to go to PHP. And the reality is what the insurance company and defines PHP as, right? That means that I give you all your meds. You can go to a sober living of your choice. You can go back to your house.
Yep.
That's probably unhealthy.
Uh-huh.
Or those things, and you're ready to do this thing and show up on time to your PHP. Drive, get yourself there.
Yeah.
Right. These are what they expect you to do with like 17 days clean and sober.
Yeah. It takes time to build habits, new habits, and like we always tell our kids like this is a slow step down process. If you have that option, not always do they have the option, but like the idea is that you move from step to step very slowly and you gradually implement responsibilities again, because you have to be able to be consistent with like changing behavior. And the reality with addicts is that like, we take 2 steps forward, but then we take 1 step back, and that's just how we learn. That's the disease. And so like the fact that the insurance companies aren't like up to par with like the reality of like what it is so infuriating.
Well, they are, I think they are. They know. And
it's about money.
It's about money. And then they're hoping these kids die. Yeah. I really do believe that. Like,
I know they don't care if they do.
Yeah. Less money.
Yeah.
Right. And
less money they have to spend, but it's like, but also it's less money that you earn.
Right.
I haven't been able to figure out the business model doesn't seem to compute in my brain. Yeah. Because the thing is that you'll put them into detox RTC over and over and over again, right? Yeah. You'll keep them in those higher levels of care. What a better model is, and they're going to have other health problems along the way, ER visits, ambulance rides, you name it, right? You get them in treatment, you have them in RTC for quite a long time, 60, 90 days probably, before you step them down.
I would love that.
Step them down to PHP for a bit, step them down to IOP, then you go to 3 days a week. And then you can, the last 4 to 3, if you step them down over a year time, right? And the last 3 months is like case management and like some housing, and they're able to have a job and save up some money to get their own housing, because never is it a good idea to go back to your as a kid.
Agreed.
As a kid.
Yeah, for the
And when
kids.
I say a kid, I mean a young adult, right?
Yeah. Right.
Never is it good to go back home to mom and dad.
No.
Because part of getting clean and sober, and part of just life in general, is learning to become independent.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Self-supporting through our own contributions.
Yes.
It's like a tradition in the 12-step program.
Exactly.
Right?
It's a must.
It's so important.
Well, and like with her story, right? She was a one and done. She went to treatment one time and got sober, right? Which is, very rare. And she was, I believe it's because she was in treatment for a year.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I got sober in 2015, which is a really interesting era in the industry.
Was that the end of the era, or was it still popping off?
I think it was still popping off.
It was still popping off. Yeah,
Because
it ended in 2016.
Yeah.
October. Yeah. I remember it. So it was October of 2016.
I was still getting paid a little bit.
I think. Yeah, and I will say,
I played the game. I had to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked in treatment, and starting in 2016, and our company was still doing really good in like 2018. I feel like that was when we were like at our peak, and since then it's been harder and harder to get care. But yeah, when I was in treatment, I didn't do residential, but I went straight to PHP, which was pretty much like a residential at the facility I was at.
Right.
And I did that for 90 days. So it's kind of funny you're saying that. Yeah. 90 days. And then I went to sober living for the last 9 months. Yeah. But I was still at the IOP going, and then I slowly got a job, and I stayed sober, and I think there's so much that happened in that first year of my recovery, right, that like if I didn't have like the support system, like I probably would have gotten loaded.
Right.
I needed the accountability, and I needed to have a place to go when like I fucked up and like wasn't.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like fell off from working a program or whatever, that stuff happens.
That's how you learn. Exactly what you were saying. And yeah, when I finally was like really trying to get sober, like that had capped, right? Because there were so many referrals and like all that was going on. So that's when they were starting to like cut down treatment. And I don't know, I was like lucky, to get sober through that, because it wasn't enough time. Right. And so I like went through a 90-day program and then went to another PHP program, and I lied. And I was like, I relapsed, and just to get like another few months. Right. Yeah. Cause I just wasn't ready, and I knew it. But I wanted to be sober finally, after all the times I relapsed and went to treatment even, so, and then the kids, like today, it's like you're saying, like 2 weeks, like,
That was the big thing. So I have my KDAC. I got that actually last year. And that's huge for me, right? Like both my parents are addicts. My mom is sober now, luckily.
Yeah.
Just celebrated 4 years, which is
Nice.
really freaking cool. But I was a high school dropout because of my addiction. I never thought, that I was going to pursue an education, anything like that. So when I got sober, which was also crazy because I was like fully enmeshed in the lifestyle. Like I wanted to be a junkie. Like that was like,
totally.
Like the persona because that was all I knew. Like my parents were both drug dealers. Like that was the life I aspired to have. And so to get sober and then, decide to become a counselor, it was like, it was wild, it was wild for me to be able to come that far. And I just, I don't know. It feels so good to be able to give back.
Yeah.
And I think through like our pain, like you were talking about with Justin, it's like, that's the motivator right there. Like that's what drives us. And that's why I think that this movement can be so powerful.
Real powerful. Huge, because like addicts and alcoholics, we all have pain, right? We all have that pain already. And then there's all these family members that have that pain. Like for instance, your mom.
Yeah.
Your mom, there's people can do two things when they have that kind of pain. You can either lay down and die, or you can get up and fight. That's all that's left.
Yeah.
And when you find a purpose to fight, like fight against fentanyl. Yeah. I'm going to war. Like I've already declared war.
That's right.
And when I say that, like, I mean, I'm going to war with the government.
Yeah.
I'm going to war. If they're not going to do anything about it, man, I'm going to just keep talking and I'm going to keep talking and more people are going to keep following. Yeah. And, that's how it's going to work.
Yeah.
Period.
And that's exactly where we're at with it. Like we talk about this all the time because honestly, there is a lot of people in the industry that's not where their heart is,
Right.
And I think that's why we met at work. And I think that's why we connected and we're best friends now is because we have that like heart drive, like it's like we want to be on the rooftop screaming, help these freaking kids, And so it was just kind of serendipitous that we got connected to you because we've been talking about that a lot lately. Yeah. And, a lot. And then Candy was like, oh yeah, my brother's trying to, like make some changes. And like, we were like, wow, we want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because ever since I started this, I've stumbled across people like you guys. I've stumbled across other people that are already pushing forward on this stuff. And I was like, what the hell? How come I didn't know you guys were already doing that and thinking this stuff?
Right.
Like, shouldn't you, let some of the people like me know? And I don't know what that means. Like, who am I, right? Like, they didn't even know who I was.
Yeah.
They just because not everybody knows Hope by the Sea or,
It's a good platform, though.
This really is a great platform.
Yeah, it's a great
and social media is huge, right? So,
yes.
And we're gonna build this the podcast across all platforms, not just YouTube, but currently we're on YouTube and Spotify, right? Anything else right now? At some point, we're gonna have to get on Apple Music.
TikTok, man.
We're on TikTok.
Okay, good. That's where it's at.
Yeah, we're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. Obviously, you gotta hit the old people on Facebook. You guys
hey,
probably
they're out there too.
Yes,
old people matter.
Yeah, they probably need to hear it the most. Honestly,
yeah.
Need the understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I
they
think
do.
That's what this podcast will do as well is like, like we all come from different walks of life, right?
Yeah.
We all suffer the same way. Like this isn't just a thing for bad people to go through with addiction. And like, that is definitely what the world thinks, oh, you're lazy, like you don't care about your life. And like, that certainly wasn't true for me. Like I was like in Tulane University. I was working at like NASA, literally somehow got that job. But I was also like shooting heroin in the fucking parking lot, you know? Yeah. Like I was on my way to do things. And then like my addiction took me out of it. And it happens to so many people, you know. You looked at me on paper, it looked good, you know, but I wasn't okay.
Yeah. It's not just like the people in the gutter, like, or on the streets. Like, these are kids from the suburbs, doctors, lawyers.
Yes.
I mean, it's not what I think the stigma
and
says
that's the thing
that
is, see, we actually know that because we work in the treatment industry, but we can't expose them.
I know.
Because we work in the treatment industry, right? We can't be like, oh, I know some. I know some
famous
fucking
people.
Judges in here.
Yeah.
Lawyers, big time lawyers.
Yeah. The disease doesn't discriminate.
No, it does not. Football players.
Yeah. And money, success
players.
doesn't matter.
Broke, poor.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter.
I'll tell you what, one thing that this people, I hope that people get this message, because like I've been a treatment center owner for a long time.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's hard to take some insurances these days, right?
Totally.
Specifically, Blue Shield of California, right? It's really hard to, nobody can take it. It's really, you can get an in-network contract and it still pays poor.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
It is.
Right. But I don't care what kind of insurance somebody has. I don't care if it's like the best paying insurance in the world or my very worst paying insurance that I have. When you walk into any of my treatment centers, they get treated exactly the same. You know, they're not a policy.
Yeah.
I hope that becomes the standard.
Yeah,
Me
that's
too.
our goal. That is definitely, I mean,
You know, and if
we're in the hospitality industry.
if-
That's what I believe.
If people are in it, like, oh, don't kick that person out because they have a Cigna policy, right? That's paying out a network. Don't kick them. You know, kick that motherfucker out.
Right.
Yeah.
If he's not,
They don't want it.
If they don't want it,
And let somebody have their bed.
let somebody
you know?
who needs it have their bed.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, if you do those things, your bills are always paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know, your bills are paid. I don't get the real greed part of this business that took over.
It's
you
a
know,
terrible business model, I have to
that
say.
business model sucks.
Yeah. And
Go ahead and let that person go. What? Let's look. Let me look
the
and see
money.
what. Clinical comes, right. Like you're a case manager. You come into the whoever your boss is, and you're like, so and so has we had him on contract. If he broke the rules again, it was, you know, he's to be kicked out of the program. And then whoever's in administration goes, hang on 1 second. Oh, it's a Blue Cross Blue Shield in network. Go ahead and discharge him.
Right.
Sick.
But it was a Cigna policy. No, we gotta give him one more chance.
Right.
Can't do that.
No, you cannot do that. Like,
Yes.
how do you go to sleep at night?
Yeah.
You know, and that's so prevalent in
They
this
go
industry.
to sleep counting money bags.
That's right.
Money bags.
Yeah.
right.
Well, that
I go-
shit will
I go to
catch
s-
up to you.
It will
It's
catch up to you.
infuriating.
And you know what? They'll be out of business at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
life.
Yeah.
That's what I was telling somebody. Like, as soon as a treatment center starts being all about the money and not the client care, they all fail. I've
Yep.
seen it over and over again.
And I've been in
know?
it for 22 years.
Oh yeah.
So
Wow,
I really have
Yeah.
seen it. And I've been in the business before it was, and we couldn't even accept insurance. They didn't pay.
Right.
It wasn't a thing. It was cash pay only,
Jeez.
you know?
Yeah.
And I worked for one treatment center at one time, and if somebody relapsed, they were like, cha-ching, because then they would be like, hey, you need to get on the phone
Yeah.
and call
Whoever's-
so-and-so's parents and tell them
Yeah.
that they just relapsed, and they either need to pay the $25 for another $25.
Like 1945?
$25,000.
2,500 it
Yeah.
was back then.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
2,500 for, you know, I mean, and that's bad.
It is.
It is.
That's
It
not
is.
why we're doing this stuff. We're in this business to save people's lives.
Yeah. And I just don't understand. Like, we show up every day and like we're looking these people in the eye, right, that are suffering.
The most
and
vulnerable.
The most vulnerable, you know, and it's like so important to treat them well and give them opportunity and chances and things like that. You know, it's not just, again, like you're saying, like, oh, well, there's policy shit. They fucked up. Get them out of here. Like, that hurts me. You know,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
hurts me because I was one of those kids. I was a
Right.
terrible client. I never
Right.
graduated a program, to be
Right.
honest.
Yeah.
You know, but people kept giving me chances, you know, and I needed that. I was totally out of touch with reality. I'd become homeless. You know, it's like you're relearning how to live.
Yeah.
You know, and like you're gonna make mistakes. I had no coping skills.
Yeah.
And I was broken.
It's gotta be love based.
Yeah.
It really has to be love based.
Yeah.
You know, decisions have to be based on love. Like we give chances over and over and over again. You know, but there are things when, you know, you have to
draw the line, the
there
boundaries.
Are boundaries. Yeah. Somebody they'll take out a whole house.
Yeah. You got to keep the other clients safe.
You have to keep people safe.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that particular client might just not be a good fit at your treatment center.
Absolutely.
There might be somewhere where they'll do okay. So you should do every intervention possible to get that person from your place to somewhere safe.
Yes, 1,000%.
Yeah. So you still, even the disruptive client, you still need to protect them and get them safe.
Yeah.
There's people that just kick them out on the streets. You know why that law passed that you can't, and it's different in California now because another law passed, but originally a law passed that you couldn't fly people in.
Yes, I remember this.
In and out, in at all anymore, right? Because people were flying people in,
but then not flying them back
and leaving them on the streets of Costa Mesa.
Yep. Yeah.
Me. Literally me. Flew me from Mississippi and I was like, oh my God.
Leaving them on the streets of Florida.
Yeah. Not good. Not good. It was crazy back in the day. I mean, and then like I didn't know what was happening to me when like I was getting like brokered, you know?
Nor
like,
did your family.
No one
like
understood.
your kid just flies across the country and you think they're in safe hands and they're at like some like 25-year-old admission rep is like like here like trying to put you in this place and they get a kickback for you.
And then they give it to you, you know, 14 days I'd leave every time, you know? Because I was getting paid. Why wouldn't I? I was young, you know. I had no knowledge of what was actually happening to me. And then, you know, they burned my insurance policy.
Yeah. We never did that here, but
thank God.
Like, how much would you get paid? That's what
I didn't partake. I was a good girl.
What would you get paid?
Like sometimes $2,000.
Oh wow.
Right?
Yeah. Like how could you turn that down?
You can't.
As an addict.
You can't.
So go to treatment for 14 days.
Leave and I'll pay you.
Yeah.
I'll pay you. And then like what would I do? Go to the fucking Momo 6 and have a good time.
If you have 14 days clean and sober, well, plus your first goal of going into treatment was for the money, not to get sober.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, once I figured that out,
then you could work the system.
Yes. And I did. And then like when I finally got sober, that's when it like people were getting in trouble for that. Right. Yeah. And so I, still like there was still like little whispers of it, and like if you go get the Vivitrol implant, like I'll pay you money, or like cortisol shots, like I was doing all of that, you know, like it was wild.
Yeah, I had a girl who came to us from another place, and she had been like basically drugged and like had the implant put in and then like dropped off on like the side of the road, like still high from the procedure. Yeah. And then it got infected. And it was this whole thing.
That part was the most disturbing part of that movie, Body Brokers.
Oh my gosh.
Did you guys see that?
Yes. Phoenix, what was his name?
Utah.
God
Idaho.
Whatever his name was, he made me cry.
Yeah. And it was so accurate.
Yeah.
That movie was so
accurate. The movie
accurate.
was accurate. The only part that wasn't accurate about the movie was the numbers. The numbers were very
inflated.
Hey. Yeah. We were not getting $3,000 a urine sample.
Yeah.
It was the and I feel like you should be able to bill for that.
Oh, me too.
That's the bread and butter of our work.
There's a number, but it shouldn't have been the number that, like let's say back then a good Aetna policy could pay $100 per panel, which, that happened sometimes. Yeah. But for the most part, it averaged out to be like $350 or $250, somewhere around there. It wasn't, but like, you should be able to make something. But people in Florida were testing people twice a day. Oh, you're in PHP, so I got to test you in the morning. Yeah. And I got to test you at night when you come back.
Let me tell you, I went to this treatment center, and I will not name it, but they were making me UA like literally like 6 times a week. And like they ended up closing down because the government came after them for fraud, you know? Yeah. But it was wild. Like, again, and I'm just like, you know, perking along. I had no idea any of this. I didn't understand it, you know, and like now that I work in treatment and I look at it, it just makes me sick. Like how people take advantage of, you know,
capitalize on people's vulnerability.
On sick individuals. Yes. And that's what like people, so we have to rebuild and restore the reputation of treatment centers, of our industry as a whole.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever go to AA meetings?
Yeah.
You know how when they say as a whole?
Yeah.
And people yell a-hole. Yeah. It always I can't even say as a whole.
Same.
Without thinking a-hole.
What does that say about us?
I don't know. I'm a fucking
We're
child.
not a glum lot, you know?
Same.
We aren't a glum lot.
No.
And this isn't like a professional nerdy podcast. And not that I don't mean that bad to anybody in any podcast. Yeah. Just some of them are really boring.
Yeah. God bless. But
know, some are really, really boring.
Yeah.
There's only like a couple that I have found that are really good.
Yeah.
And one of them's really professional and I really like it a lot. Yeah. And then the other ones are nobody's like, we're kind of a mixture of Joe Rogan and Logan Paul, but recovery based. Like when Shane's here, and like actually even with like, the two of you, we're all talking over each other. Yeah. That's like Logan Paul and them, right? Yeah. But but then we have
a problem with that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. No. This is going to be a good one to me. Yeah. But then we also have the table, so I could be like, you know, ask a question and then let you answer like Joe Rogan does.
Yeah.
But then Joe Rogan interrupts his people too.
I think it makes for good combo, you know?
And then they go off sidetracked on a tangent for a while. Which is,
I think that's what I love most about podcasts is that it's like, it's a real conversation.
Yeah.
You know, it's very like natural. It feels like you're when you're listening to a podcast, like you're in the room with them, kind of like, it's not like scripted.
Right.
And I like that because that's what it is when we're talking and hanging out, you know?
Absolutely.
So feels very
And
real.
we don't edit ours at all. There's no editing done.
Yeah.
Okay, good. We gotta keep on point. Make sure we don't say anything bad.
Yeah. I'm doing my best.
At least we can cuss.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have to restore the reputation.
Yes.
I like the word restore. I feel like there was a time in this industry where it was really going in the right direction. Mm-hmm. And then what happened, two things happened. The Parity Act, which I think was the end of Bush era, and then the Obama era of the Affordable Care Act. Those two, the combination of those two things, and I'm hopefully getting them right. I need to go look them up to make sure that the one was in the Bush era.
Yeah.
The combination of those two things caused a gold rush in this industry. Yeah. The insurance companies didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to pay.
Yeah.
You know, they just paid.
I know.
And business people in this industry took advantage.
Fully.
They saw what was happening, and I've been through it all. Like I lived through it. I made it through. And only the strong have survived this. I've seen, you know, some of the largest treatment centers I ever saw.
Yeah.
And during that gold rush era.
Oh my gosh,
they're gone.
Rise and fall.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'd watch that documentary.
Yeah.
On all the Orange County
The rise and fall of. Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
We could do a documentary on that. Michelangelo, you want to do a
you ready?
What not to do.
No, but seriously.
Can we name names? Can we name real names?
Yeah, seriously.
That would be great.
Because I know.
Yeah.
I'm sure you do, yeah.
I'm sure you have a lot, actually. And it's just like you said, those places don't make it, right?
No, they don't.
They don't make it. And thank God.
And some of them, some of them have come back and under other names, and they're still they're still doing the wrong thing, and it's kind of like, what is so? My question is, what is so hard about advertising treatment centers that you have to do something the wrong way? Like, why is it so difficult for people to maybe spend some money on Google. Like Google's the biggest body broker on the planet, right? And now you have to be like legit script certified to to allow Google to be your body broker, right? So you advertise on Google. You can advertise on Google.
Yeah.
You know, that's actually a thing.
Yeah.
That was one of the first. Actually, the Carl Mosen was one of the first people to advertise on the internet, and I was like right after him.
Interesting.
It was him. So Sober Living by the Sea, the original.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember Pax and his dad? I forget what their names were.
Pack Shores?
No, Malibu. The one that he didn't.
Passages?
Passages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to be an addict, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Like,
God, R.I.P.
yeah.
Didn't he die?
I think so.
Did
right?
he die? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe I just made that up.
No,
Honestly,
I've heard that rumor before.
Yeah,
but
I
I don't know.
Or he relapsed.
I know he relapsed.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Is it? But here's the thing: is it a relapse if you weren't an addict?
Right.
Good
'Cause-
question. That's a good question.
I mean, was it a relapse or did he just?
I mean,
I don't know.
Passages I've heard is like a really good like spa. You know what I mean? Like, sounds really nice.
What happened to her?
Oh, is it me?
I don't know. Maybe.
Hello?
Hello.
There you go.
There you go.
Will it stay here?
Just
Okay.
turn this part up. Just turn
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Push it down.
There we go. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah,
better.
that's
A little good.
Okay.
It's,
Yeah.
she just like was in one of my ears for a second. Was that how it was for you?
No, I just went out. I couldn't
Oh.
hear.
Oh. Whoops.
Passages. Yeah, they're a good day spa.
Yeah.
They used to be $90,000. They probably still are.
Wow.
The Malibu.
I
one.
would assume so. Yeah.
Probably
So
more
only
because this was.
celebrities or people. I mean,
Yeah.
normal people can afford that.
No. There's no normal people. Those people may not want to go to treatment anyways. I don't know if they would do very well in like a structured setting.
You know what's funny though? I've had like big name rock stars come through Hope by the Sea,
yeah.
and they just chilled.
That's
like,
cool.
They
That's
weren't
cool.
they weren't terrible clients or anything.
No,
Interesting.
great clients went out to outside 12-step meetings.
Aw.
At the time, back in this time, we took them to an outside gym because we didn't have the one down there. So they, people would come up to them and be like, "Hey,"
Yeah.
they'd be like, "Hey, just going to a
Aw.
meeting,"
Well, they're just another person,
Right?
you know.
They
And
would
it's
go
like,
in the druggy buggy, cruising.
That's
I wasn't. We
right.
weren't.
I
we
love
weren't-
that. That's
Like,
true
that's one-
humility right there.
Yeah.
That's one thing that like we don't really make any extra like I think a celebrity as much as anybody else needs to humble themselves and come into a real
Absolutely.
treatment center because it's
Yeah.
not about the luxury
Amenities.
that you get.
not.
It's about the hardcore internal work that you get from your therapist, your case manager, your peers.
Yep.
Group therapy.
Group therapy. I mean, when you see like veterans, for instance, they're not the general population, right? They've gone to war. We have guys that have gone to war,
Right.
Yeah.
but sometimes when they hear somebody else's trauma that has just regular street trauma, all of a sudden they can relate, and they're like, you know what, I can heal too.
Yeah.
And like
Oh.
people, rock star, they all have the same damn trauma.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have something
Yeah.
going on internally.
Hole
Yeah.
in our heart. That's what I
Mhm.
always say. We all
Yeah.
have a hole in our heart. We're trying to fill with anything but something good.
And anything but God, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
For whatever
Exactly.
reason.
Yeah.
It's just so much easier to just fill that hole with God every morning.
Yeah.
It doesn't even take that long.
God-sized hole. Yeah.
How long does it take?
Nothing.
For real, like in the morning.
Nothing. I like do like a gratitude on the way to work every morning, and like that's what has like they taught me that in rehab and in the program, and yeah, I still do it, and it makes me happy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
makes
the
my
simple
day.
stuff,
Yeah.
that makes a difference. It's not hard to do these things, but it's like finding that willingness and the humility to be able to like take the suggestion
Yeah.
and not like be defensive,
Yeah.
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 No, I don't need that.
Yeah.
That open-mindedness is tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is a little
Yes.
tough.
Like,
It is a
you
little
know.
tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
People give me suggestions about the podcast sometimes, and I'm like, my first reaction is, I don't want to do that.
I don't know. That's not a good idea.
Maybe you're right. I did. I started cussing after my nephew said, "You guys need to spice it up a little bit. It's kind of boring."
Well, here we are.
Yeah, spicy.
Yeah, not boring anymore, is it?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just like, I believe in 12-step, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what really works for my clients, you know. And it's really hard to like push that now too. Like the treatment centers don't want you to push it or do anything like that. And it's like, that's the only thing I've seen work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's hard with insurance, right? Because they want to keep those two separate.
Yeah.
You know what though? We get a lot of what step are they on still? A lot of case managers at the insurance company. Do they have a sponsor?
Really?
Yeah. You just can't add it as any
The billing.
yes.
No billing for it.
Right.
Yeah. So therefore,
Which is
most places won't
confusing.
do it.
Yeah.
You know?
We there was a time though, right at the end of when you got clean.
Yeah.
Her
we,
era.
Yeah, we stopped taking people to meetings because our clients were getting body broken.
Poached. Yeah. Absolutely.
Poached at a meeting.
Yeah. The Alana clubs are like dangerous.
Yeah. Which was sad.
It was sad.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit, right when we were thinking about getting that back.
Yeah.
I mean, we bring panels in and stuff like
Yeah.
that. We take them now, not like we used to. Like we used to do a meeting every night.
Yeah.
Like every night.
Yeah.
At least probably like 6 a week.
Yeah.
Back in the old day. Now it's like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
You know.
You have like separate tracks though too, right?
We do. We have the Christian track. We used to have a Christian track. We used to have your traditional 12-step based track, and then we had a non-traditional, non-12-step based track. I combine
That's awesome.
I combine the non-traditional and the traditional, so they don't have to attend 12-step meetings, but they're still going to learn about them.
Yeah.
And they're also going to learn Frank Candy's husband's program. It's called The Work. It's just a lot of writing.
Interesting.
It's very similar to the steps,
right.
Yeah.
you know.
That's what we always tell the kids. Like, you can get sober through other avenues, like if that's what you choose. The 12 steps are just like this laid out like design to like kind of like work through your resentments and deal with the trauma and like
Make amends.
find God, make amends. Like, you know, you can go to a therapist or like do a workshop, you know, and do all of that work on your own. But the 12 step is like, it's already laid out there, you know? So like,
and it's put in a specific order for a specific reason.
yeah.
Yes.
You know, cause you can't, you know, a therapist, I don't know if a therapist will know. They should, but I don't know if they will know that you shouldn't make an amends to somebody that you've harmed until you've done all these other steps in a row.
Changed your actions.
Yeah, because like the amends step is a behavior. You've already changed the behavior.
Yeah.
And if you can't make an amends to somebody until you've changed completely changed that behavior. Because to me telling you that I'm sorry, it means that I will never do that to you again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't do it 2 weeks into rehab, people.
Please.
Right. Yes. I gotta go. But I've already done steps 1, 2, and 3.
I did a 4th step by myself. Like that's my favorite. I'm like, no. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Oh my God, bless them though. Yeah. I mean, that's one thing during COVID that was so difficult to try to keep them in treatment and involved, you know, because we like completely were shut down. Yeah. Staying in the house.
Yeah. So did we. They were in the house. My therapists and case managers were here at the office doing telehealth from here.
Right.
Yep.
You know, whether it was a one-on-one session or group sessions.
Yeah.
What do you think about the telehealth?
What do I think about it?
Yeah.
I think that you don't get the same energy through a TV screen.
Agreed.
1000%.
Agreed. You want to know something crazy? So, because we totally agree.
Yeah.
Like it's just a different synergy when you're in the room with the clients. But I've been recently reading a ton of studies that show that there isn't really much difference in like the outcomes from telehealth.
Really?
Yes, and I was flabbergasted by it because, but also like
that was probably
synergy.
that was probably written and studied by people who want to do telehealth.
Telehealth.
You
are telehealth.
You always got to
owners
go
of
back.
Zoom.
You got to go back to the source, right? Because a lot of therapists, when COVID hit, you know, that's one of the reasons why, I don't know if you guys have a hard time, but it's hard.
The therapist to come back.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to get, it's
They're
hard
happy.
to hire therapists.
They're happy at home.
Yeah. I'm not happy at home.
No.
And I will
neither.
tell you, not one of my, so
No.
we gave them a choice because, you know, it was scary right at the very beginning
yeah,
and they shut down California,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
A couple months into it, I was like, oh, this is just my opinion. Oh, this is a facade. This is a scamdemic. But without that part, I asked everybody when it was at the scariest time, and even I was a little bit scared and intimidated.
Yeah.
I said, you can either come to work and work out of your office, or you can work from your home, as long as you have a home office where your children and people aren't, you know, it's private.
Right.
Yes.
Not one of my therapists or case managers chose to do that, work from home. Not one.
Oh, wow.
Not one.
That's a good team.
Yeah,
That's
that
a
is a
good
good
team.
team.
All of them chose to come to the office.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
where the magic happens. Like, it's in the team.
Yes.
It
You
is,
know?
because I don't think you can do it alone. And I don't, and you know, maybe a telehealth, right? If you're a group of people that are together and you have the peer support and the therapist is coming over Zoom, it's probably better than not having anything at all. But there's an energy.
Yes.
Like I don't do, I try not to do Zoom
Yeah.
podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I do start getting some famous people and they don't want to come here, I'm going to have a mobile setup so I can go there.
Oh, I love it.
I don't want to
Cool.
Zoom them in on my TV.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
There's something different.
So awkward. It's so awkward.
Yeah.
It's not
Doing
as good.
clinical meetings like on Zoom, like it's painful.
Yeah.
It is so painful, you know, because like nobody's really giving anything, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody's like, okay, my turn's over. Like next, like
And then
no,
they're probably not listening.
yes,
Yes.
and not finding solutions.
Right.
You know, when you're in the same room together, it's like, oh my god, like da 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 da, we could do this. Like, you know, the team is active,
Right.
but
Yeah.
like over Zoom, it's like
The
not
only
there.
Yeah.
good there are some good things about Zoom is, you know, when it comes to like business meetings, and you don't have to
Drive into
travel.
the office.
You don't have to travel to
Yeah.
like New York to have
Right.
a nice meeting with
Yeah.
a guy from New York.
Right.
You can like actually do some business and figure out if I even want to fly to New York to
Yeah.
see this guy.
that is good. That is good. Save you a trip.
Right? I really want to meet this guy.
Yeah, it's helped a lot in 12-step too, you know, like people are getting access, 24/7 access to meetings all across the world.
The world. Huh?
So
So that's pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
That's really good.
Yeah. But like,
Really
yeah,
good.
I think where the studies have it wrong is that you can't measure synergy.
No.
You know? Like that's something that you and me feel when we're in the room.
Yeah.
You know, and I
And
can
with the
certainly
kids,
feel it when
you know?
we're doing groups with the kids.
Yeah.
Like
we call them kids.
they're all kids.
They're all kids with the clients. Yeah. When we do group with them, it's like magic, you know, once you get it all going and get them interested,
Mm-hmm.
it's magic.
Yeah.
You know, and like it makes a difference, you know, wakes them up.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And we couldn't do it on Zoom.
I wonder if Michelangelo has like figured out everybody's voice now, and then he can just, it's easy now. Yeah.
Move around.
Yeah,
Hit the
'cause-
camera.
Yeah, because he hits the camera. We don't, because like I said, we don't edit.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's editing now.
Okay.
And, you know, when you're talking, the camera's on you. When I'm
Yeah.
talking, sometimes that camera's on right there. That big one. That's all three of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite the setup in here, I have to say. It's very impressive.
Yeah.
I like this. This is new, right?
Yeah, we put that up because I was really, I couldn't. Everybody was, yes, it's hard for me.
Yeah. Me
Like
too.
you
I have
got-
ADD real bad, so I get it.
But my guests would see or hear them, right? Because you can't hear anything else except for
Yeah,
us
right.
when we're talking.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
so I like it too. Plus, it's like, you know, the Infinity Group sponsors the Hopeaholics podcast.
Oh, that's awesome.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, it was easy to get that sponsor.
Right. It's
I just-
yours.
I just
You're
called,
like, I say yes.
I just called myself I texted myself, do you think you could sponsor us?
Yeah. Just a little bit.
I was like, yeah, go ahead.
Gotta have a paper trail. That's
But this was a good idea. Like doing a podcast and like having, we kind of watched we watched a lot of it, right? On YouTube, and like seeing so many different people come on, like it's just so, even if they're like funny or educational, like I feel like if people just took the time to watch it for a second, like they'd be more understanding, right?
Right. They will. And there will be so many that people can pick and choose at some point.
Yes.
You know, we don't expect everybody to listen to every single one.
Yeah.
You know, and then there will be some that I'm sure at some point will go totally viral because they were fun and funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had so far it's like Bob's has got really the most organic, right? Like 1,000 on YouTube.
Yeah.
The YouTube views. But like my TikTok, there's like little shorts that have like, you know, 100,000 or
yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So you're already making moves on TikTok.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean,
but not really. I don't have like 4,000 followers.
That's pretty good. I mean, it's not horrible.
It's a nice start.
It only takes one though, you know, like
Literally.
if you start getting like a little 100,000 here, 100,000 there,
one pops off, you're in.
Yeah.
You're in, you know?
Yeah.
I don't understand TikTok because like
Neither do I.
I think I'm too old. I think there's a cutoff age limit for TikTok. I think they made like if your brain is past this, it just doesn't work for you anymore. So I don't understand it at all. But I feel like I get more action on Instagram.
Oh,
like
okay.
People, you know, they comment and stuff on TikTok, but nobody reaches out for help to me.
Right.
Not yet, at
Right.
least. On Instagram, people are, you know, more apt to reach out to us.
That makes sense to me.
Totally.
Currently.
Yeah.
But also, like my daughter, who's 22, she's like, well, you know, people will start to find your Instagram from TikTok.
It's all a web.
Yeah, I don't.
Truly. I mean, I've started
how to
watching
do this
podcasts
stuff.
because of TikTok, like getting a little blip, and I'm like, oh my God, that's so fucking funny. And like Tiger Belly with Bobby Lee, right?
Yeah.
That's how I got introduced to him. And, you know, I love that podcast.
Casual drop of your favorite podcast.
Exactly.
Bobby Lee, if you're listening, I love you. He's
Please
sober
stay
too, right?
sober.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, so that's where, you know, you could definitely get people here.
Yeah. I listen to a lot of recovery podcasts too.
Yeah.
I really like Bob Forrest's podcast. Do you know Celebrity Rehab?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, Bob Forrest with the red hair and the glasses and the hat,
No.
kind of kooky looking. Well, he does a podcast and it's basically just like this, what we just did.
Yeah.
It's all shop talk. It's
Yeah.
all about the treatment industry. And
Nice.
it's just kind of, it's fun because it's like you get it.
Yeah.
Like the humor there and
Yeah.
stuff. So I really like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice, you know. This is a great outlet, I feel like, for people to be able to find you. And all you have to do is like type in like recovery or, you know, and then you'll pop up. And
Right.
Yeah, and the name is amazing. Everybody I've told like about it, they're like, "Oh my God, what a brilliant idea!"
yeah,
It really is.
I came up with the Hopeaholics because all the other names I wanted were taken. And
it's the last resort.
Well, I actually I like it better.
Yeah.
Than any of my other names that I had.
Yeah.
But I was like, well, I'm trying to think of a name, and we always do sweatshirts every year that say "Got Hope" on them, and then they're Hope by the Sea sweatshirts, and we hand them out to
Cute.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
clients at Christmas. And
Cute.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
One year we did one that said, instead of "Got Hope," we were like, oh, this can get kind of boring, so we put Hopeaholics on it, and I was like thinking, and I was like, oh, wait, we did a sweatshirt, and then bam, and then I went and looked online, and everything was available, like the URL,
Yeah.
Wow.
the Instagram name, the TikTok name.
I'm surprised.
So was I.
Yeah.
I was very
Yeah.
surprised.
That's great.
So that's
We
what
need
we did.
we need to come up with a business name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me and Marky are trying to capitalize on the dynamic.
Yeah.
You know, we have a thing that we call tag teaming.
Yeah.
We do with clients.
Yeah.
You know, we give them the 1-2. You know, and it's
You
like
guys could actually do a podcast.
we were just talking to Michelangelo about this because, we've thought about doing that before because some of our conversations.
You could be a host and a co-host.
Yes.
And just do a podcast.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to compete with you.
No, it's never competition. It's a supporting each other. Yeah. Because in this industry, like we can't do that. Like, you guys, you do a podcast. You mentioned my podcast. I do a podcast. You guys are doing a podcast. I meant to go check this out. Yeah. We're all about the same movement.
Yeah.
And then people are following both of us.
Yeah.
And then, and like I said, the podcast for me isn't about how many views I get. Yeah. What's more important to me is how many people are following us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because those same people, and especially if they're responsive, right? You want your group of people that are, and when I say following, those are like social media terms, right? Mm-hmm. Because anybody that's actually standing with us is standing beside us. They're not following us. Right. But for reference of social media, if your followers are responsive, like you put out a story or a TikTok and you're like, hey, we're going to have this event here, or we're heading to, can you sign this? We're heading to the government. We're heading up to Capitol Hill to, go meet with, Kevin McCarthy or whoever it is. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. And you get that response and you have millions of people and millions of views on that arena. That's what's more important to me than, hey, is everybody watching my podcast? I don't really care about that.
Yeah. The engagement.
Yeah.
I want the engagement. I want people to be a part of the movement. I want to be able to be that voice. Yes. And I want the powers that be to know that I'm that voice for all of these people and that what I stand for and what I'm saying is what they believe as well.
Right.
Because this is bullshit. It is bullshit. Everything you guys have talked about, besides your cool stories, like the way treatment is, it sucks.
Yes.
It really sucks that what they're giving to, and you guys think that that's bad. You should see how they're treating the veterans.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I've never felt like that. Like, okay, so somebody comes to our detox, right? They want to get sober. They fought for us. They fought for us. They risked their life. Yeah. So we could live free.
They should be able to just show up.
Right.
At our doorstep.
Yeah. I mean, we should have better care than most.
Well,
I feel like.
And you have to tell them
everybody
after detox, like, you got to go, like, that's so fucked up. Like,
because they're the ones that need the real, like, acute mental health care.
Yes.
like, not just
they're the reasons why we can do this podcast.
Exactly.
And cuss on this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
We might get banned by YouTube, though. No. We can't monetize if we're saying the F word, right?
That's right. We're still rebels.
Woo!
But yeah, well, then it's, again, back to the cussing. It's fucking bullshit.
No, it really
is. Wild.
It really is. I like heart surgery. Mm-hmm. What if somebody needed heart surgery? I don't know. I can't give a good example with heart surgery, but like, you get it right away. Mm-hmm. You get to pick your doctor.
Yeah.
Unless you have an HMO, but.
Right.
I mean, all of that stuff sucks too.
Yeah.
But our medical, shitty. I will say that our medical, our healthcare system is better than most.
Okay.
And it's still not perfect. You go to Canada. Yeah, you have free healthcare. But if you need to get a surgery, you're not getting it for 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
I know. I wanted to ask Shane about
it's
the healthcare system.
Yeah, he'll tell you about
it. Okay. Next time we come on, we'll have to.
We have a fourth mic coming. We just haven't set it up yet, right? At some point, we'll set it up.
That just means that Canadian healthcare.
The important stuff.
Canada, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
About.
I can get the accent a little bit from Shane. I could see it.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what a knapsack is?
No.
It's a backpack.
Oh yeah.
That's what they call them. That's what they call them.
I was thinking of like those little things on a twig.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Like a little sack,
for a picnic.
Yeah.
Or you go to lay down on the grass and take a nap.
Yeah.
Got a little pillow in
like
it.
the cartoon.
Yeah. Is that a Canadian thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Good
He
to
was
know.
on one of the podcasts like a couple of days ago. He was like, yeah, I got this, I don't know, Gucci. Well, I'll just say Gucci.
Okay.
Maybe it was red bottom.
Yeah.
He's like, I have a red bottom knapsack. You know, like the red bottom shoes.
Yeah.
Louboutin.
Yeah. He had a
Louboutin knapsack. I don't know if Louboutin and knapsack want to be
I don't think they want that.
He's like, I have a Louboutin knapsack. It's like, what's a knapsack? I knew what a knapsack was, but the guest had no idea. The guest was about is American. My dad's Canadian, so I can.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, he's not anymore. He's an American, but he was
Right.
born and raised. He's an immigrant, Canadian immigrant. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you really I always ask this question. Are you an immigrant if you come from Canada?
I don't think so. You know?
Like a distant.
Distant relative?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you don't want.
Second cousin.
The ones that come to your house that you don't want to stay too long.
Right.
Distant relative. Hey,
Eh?
can you take your shoes off at the front door, eh?
Does your dad talk like that?
No.
Oh, that's too bad.
He came here when he was like 18 or something, and lived here the rest of his life. But I have two sisters that have dual citizenship, so they can. One of my sisters lived in Canada all my life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do you go there a lot?
Never.
Okay.
Zero
Got it.
desire to go to Canada.
Right on.
I'd rather go to like Hawaii or
Yeah. I'm a sun girl myself.
somewhere
you know?
where it's nice and warm.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't
I'd
like
even
sun.
rather go to Vegas than Canada.
We love Vegas.
We love Vegas.
Vegas is fun,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys can go to Vegas sober.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And have the
Tell-
best time.
We
Tell
just
us about
went.
that.
We just
Tell
went for
us.
my 30th last year, and my mom, who's sober, and her best friend, who's sober, also came and met
Yeah.
us. And I swear to God, people thought we were drunk because we were having so much fun.
Yeah.
And it's just like you don't even think about drinking when you're with a bunch of sober people, and you don't need it.
Do you guys gamble at all?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'm
the
just
slots.
yeah.
We're
Yeah.
not like high rollers or anything. but-
No, I win about $300 and then I'm done.
Okay.
You know, that's like my cap. And I usually win that when I go in. I'm a little lucky.
Yeah.
A little bit, you
Yeah,
know?
she is lucky.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
also won a trip. That trip was free because
Yeah.
Marky won it, and then Marky also won another trip to Antigua at
Really?
the Yellowstone event. Have you ever been to that?
Oh.
Yeah. So we won that, and we still need to go to Antigua.
Yeah.
Anyways, traveling is like our thing. Like now that
Absolutely.
we're sober, like it's like that is our bread and butter.
You know what sucked?
What?
COVID
Yeah.
for traveling.
Yeah.
Yes.
It put a
Yes.
damper in my traveling plans. I was
Yes.
just getting ready to go. I mean, I was
Yeah.
getting ready to do stuff, and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden they shut everything down.
Yeah.
And then of course, there was no way I was going to get vaccinated. So,
Yeah.
when they did open it up, only people could travel who were vaccinated.
Oh,
And I
no.
just wasn't. So that
Yeah.
set me back another year.
Yeah.
Oh.
But you're going soon.
Yeah. So, well, since then I've been a lot of places. New York. I went to the Bahamas. I'm going to Italy. Trying to think where else.
That sounds like
Done
that's
a
going to be
lot.
fun. Candy was telling us
Yeah.
about that.
Italy's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The whole family too. How cool.
Yeah. My wife, my kids.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
My mom, my dad, my sister.
Who's going to be in
Frank.
charge of this place when you guys are all gone?
Oh, I got a good team of people
Yeah.
that run this place for
Yeah.
me now. Yeah, they
That's
do
what
a
it's
great
about,
job. I mean, I'll
right?
still worry a little bit.
Right.
It's just
Right.
in my nature,
Yeah.
but
Well, if you've been around for 20 years, it's like,
Yeah.
the place can probably run itself
probably.
if it's lasted this long,
Yeah.
That's honestly really impressive because how many of those in Orange County are there?
Not a lot.
No.
We're one of the oldest,
Yeah.
especially in South Orange County.
Yeah.
I think, Able to Change is very, very close to me
Mhm.
as far as age. I think we're older than maybe not. Might not. They might be a little bit older than us. That's about it that I can think of.
And I haven't heard of them, but I had definitely heard of you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah, I almost went here.
Did
Did
you?
almost. But it wasn't close enough to Costa Mesa.
Like, this is the place to
It's
be.
too far.
Costa
Yeah,
Mesa.
too far from my favorite Motel 6.
Yeah. the one on
Harbor.
Harbor
On Harbor
Boulevard.
Yeah. And I'm kicked out of that and banned.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, you know, just cute stuff, right? By the way, everyone, I'm changed now. I'm not getting kicked out everywhere I go anymore. I think.
No, we're
yeah,
good.
We're fine now.
Good.
We're healthy.
So I kind of want to ask you guys, I guess individually,
Yeah.
because it seems like you guys have learned how to do recovery. You've learned how to have fun.
That's
and,
it.
and you guys probably already get to do what I'm about to ask you. So I guess I'll start with you. What do you say to the clients that are, brand new and they're hopeless, and they just want to get to where you are?
Yeah.
That happiness
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the biggest things I think that attracts people to sobriety, right? Is happiness. And like as a client advocate, that's where I show up the best, right? I want them to see me laughing. I want them to see me happy, because when I was in their shoes, and I tell them this, like, listen, I did not think like happiness was something that could happen for me. I thought that was just my life, and that's it. Like I was going to be sad, depressed, lonely, what have you, right? My whole life. And then I got sober. I did some work on myself, and like now I'm happy, and I can genuinely sit here and tell you that. And they believe me because it's real, right? Yeah. As long as I continue to do the work on myself, I'm going to be happy, and I get to show them how it works. And that's all I can really do is be the example and show them like that life is good. Life is good. You can't see right now, you can't see 2 inches in front of your nose. But life is good if we can just go slowly forward. Yeah, that's all it takes, And I remember being there and being like 30 days, like I can't,
Seems like a lifetime.
I know.
Yeah,
and now it's like you just want to be like, it's just do it, like just a little bit, you know. I didn't do it like hardcore, like that was not my story, I got into it slowly, and messed up a lot along the way. And, but I still got sober. I have 5 years. Like that's insane. I was what they called a chronic relapser, like nobody was putting bets on me to stay sober, and that's also why I think I have like a lot of compassion for the ones who have the attitude problems or, are just not that adapted to life. And I really try to be patient with them because I get it, really, really get it. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's really all I can do is not even say anything, just show them.
Right. Yeah. It gives them a glimmer of hope,
So, yeah.
Because it's like, I remember being hopeless. I have to go back to like 1996 because I was so shy. I was so scared. I had never had a job before. I was 22 years old. I had been homeless by choice, but not like shopping cart homeless, like trying to hustle to, get a motel.
Stage 2 homeless is what I like to call it.
The Momo.
Yeah.
I was bawling. I felt like I was bawling if I was at the Motel 6 in San Bernardino.
Same.
Yeah, because I wasn't at the Colton Inn.
I was like, I'm not at the Sandpiper, so I'm winning.
Right, winning. Yeah. But it gives people a glimmer of hope that like you can pull yourself out of the bottom of the barrel, and you can learn to live life. Yeah. Yeah. And you can do it on life's terms.
Yeah.
It's really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, so with the older, like more mature clients, right? It's like kind of hard for me to like get to them, right? But like, I don't know. I share my story, right? How it was like this really big like fall, right? Like I went from NASA to homeless, right? And they're able to pay attention a little bit more to what I'm saying, right? And then just showing up for them and being caring and giving them love. I mainly work with women, by the way. Right. So like showing up for them and like giving them the attention that they deserve and need, because we're starting to see a lot of housewives on fentanyl.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is, but that's how empty they feel and hopeless they feel.
And the sad part is those housewives, husbands, and children might come home one day, and they're not, and they're dead.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah.
How about you? I know you're a case manager, so right?
Yeah, well, I'm actually not working as a case manager. I do groups.
Oh, okay.
But I'm going to school right now for my degree in public health.
Oh, nice.
My bachelor's. So I didn't want to take on I'm working part-time.
Okay.
So, but I still do groups with the clients. And I'm face to face with them all day long and stuff. And basically I'm counseling them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Marky pretty much like hit the nail on the head. It's like, it's not necessarily what we tell them. It's just like what we show them, and like when I show up every day and I have like a happy disposition and I'm not fazed by their drama or bullshit, I think they really like are like partial to me because I'm just very like, okay, I use humor a lot, like, oh, yeah. Okay, you're real upset about that. Okay. Like, and that seems to really work, when you have like kind of a light attitude and it's not like punitive.
Yeah.
They're drawn to that.
Yeah.
And so, and then they see me and Marky and they all know us as best friends. And so, and they know like that we have fun and we get to do all these amazing things. And they aspire to do that. Yeah. We had a client tell us the other day that her and her friend, who's also a client, were pretending to be me and Marky
at the beach.
They had their hats on and they were trying to be all fancy, and I'm just like, that is so cute.
But they also see us cry, right? Like that
they know we are serious.
Yeah.
Vulnerability
is huge, right? Also, like showing them like, hey, you don't have to hide and have secrets anymore. Like this is a safe place, like for you to get all of that out, to be who you were meant to be,
Mm-hmm.
And I think doing that, like we'll cry in group, like, we'll be like, oh my God,
Yeah.
But then they get to see us support each other, right?
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Everybody needs a glimmer of hope.
Yeah.
That they too can, just live life. Cause I think sometimes, I've gotten this far, right? But like, I have to go back to the way back where there's no way in the beginning that I ever thought that I would be where I am today.
Oh my God.
And right? I just mean, and I don't even mean, I mean it in every way. Like, I mean, in business, I mean it, the success I've had in that, the success that I've had, even at the gym, the success. But the most important part is I never would have thought that I would feel this good about myself.
Yeah.
Like, I look in the mirror and I'm actually proud of the guy that I am.
Yeah.
I'm proud that, I'm the father that I am. I'm proud that I'm the husband that I've become.
Yeah.
I'm proud that I like myself. I mean, that trips
huge.
Me out because, I still have that liar in there. There's that liar in there. He rears his head every once in a while and he's like, oh, you're a loser.
Yeah.
You'll never amount to nothing. But I'm like, wait a minute. Who are you and what are you talking about? I've already amounted to something.
Yeah.
Like,
totally.
Stop lying to me.
I have evidence.
Yeah.
I have evidence that proves otherwise, but it's hard. So that's the point that I'm trying to make. I have a track record of wins, of successes. When you have, but when and I'm like you, unfortunately, I became a chronic relapser.
Yeah.
I stayed clean for 9 years.
Yeah.
And then, as a treatment center owner, I relapsed and I struggled for, 5 years in and out. Right. That's around painful. The same, like from 2010 to 2016.
Yeah.
I just couldn't put enough days in a row together.
Yeah.
And I mean, even during that time, I dove into meetings and I worked the steps, and those things really, they did help. They helped. And I got a lot out of it. I had some trauma work that I needed to do outside of the program that changed my life.
Yes.
It was too deep for, even the program would tell you,
right,
this is an area where you need to seek outside.
Yes. 12-step coupled with therapy.
Everything.
Like, love that. Cause same, right? Like I'm coming in, like my brother died, and then I just really burnt my life to the ground, right?
Yeah.
Like fucking said, let's go.
Yeah.
I get to use the way I really want to now.
Yep.
I have a really good
Good
excuse.
excuse.
Yes, really good excuse. And I did that, and but when I got sober, my brother's dead. My brother died in the next room while I was having a party. I fucking hate myself.
Yeah.
I'm responsible for this. I'm responsible for everything, because we were close and like that was my guy. And I'm able to talk about it though right now and not break down because of therapy,
Right.
Yeah.
because of those things. Because there's no way. I was a puddle. Like I didn't even talk about him.
Yeah.
I didn't even say his name.
Yeah.
I think it's a process, right? Totally. And like that's what I like to stress with clients is that like this is a long game.
Yeah.
And you're not expected to have this overnight. You won't be healed even by the time you leave us, just, one foot in front of the other, and that's all you can do, not even perfection. Like nobody expects that out of you. Just honestly having like the willingness and the open-mindedness. I hate to bring it back to 12-step again, but like those are so true, like just honestly seeking and then allowing yourself some grace to mess up along the way, and like you'll be okay.
Yeah, you do have to allow yourself that grace, and just because you mess up doesn't mean you're a failure.
No.
And that, I think, and that's
what we do.
Oh yeah, man. I mess up and it's like, oh my, that
that's
guy.
How I learned.
I was about to say that guy.
One mess up and that guy comes in and he's like, I told you so.
Yep.
I told you you're no good.
Yeah.
I told you that you'll fail.
Ew.
And then you can't remember all the wins all the successes that you've had. But when you're brand new, you got to take every little tiny success, like whatever it is. I don't know what people's are, but like for me it was like just like little things. Like I'm like this time, like when I first got clean, it was important to me to like try to reestablish relationship with my kids, because I hurt my kids because they had never seen me. They had never seen the nightmare that I am.
Right.
Like I'm like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I'm very nice and loving. I'm a good human being when I'm clean and sober. When I'm not, I'm evil.
Same friend. Monster.
I'm a monster.
Yeah.
And people are scared of me. And nobody wants to be around me because they don't know if I'm gonna be violent.
Yeah.
I actually don't. I've never really been like violent, but you can see
eyes.
it.
You're scary.
Yeah. Shooting that meth. Plus on top of that, like I'm in a meth-induced psychosis.
Yeah.
Shadow people are everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm working for the CIA doing missions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I got to say that every podcast.
That sounds like a fun one. A good run.
Oh, it's a good one. We put a short of me talking about the CIA on TikTok.
Yeah.
And all these comments, people are like, "Oh, this is fake. What a liar."
No.
He never worked. I'm really concerned that this guy worked for the CIA and was doing that much meth. They really didn't listen to
They didn't understand.
No.
Yeah, once again, they don't understand.
Maybe they don't understand because they didn't know that, like, somebody who uses that much meth can be in what's called a meth-induced psychosis.
And it's real, baby.
Yeah, it's real as hell. Do you really work for the CIA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
Nobody will ever know.
No, and it takes time to come out of that shit, Like when you get sober from meth, like
I do recommend. I'm not a doctor, and I can't write prescriptions, and I can't really give recommendations. So how about I'll just say what worked for me?
Yeah,
perfect.
A dose of Zyprexa, a Valium, and a hamburger.
That's right.
And a really, really, really good night's sleep.
A very comfy bed.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
I used to hate it though because they would want to give me that Zyprexa and it would pull me right out of my CIA mission.
Yeah.
You were ready to go.
I was still in it,
fun.
man. And I knew I always thought that it was the FBI trying to get me out of doing my mission.
They're the ones giving you the Zyprexa.
They were.
It was them.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's so hard when a client comes in psychosis and they're like, I'm not taking anything you're giving me.
Yeah, I've been that client.
Yeah.
I've been like, no, wait, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not putting that shit in my body.
I know what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to do. Exactly. I knew what you were trying to do.
God.
You're trying to make me sane again.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are always fun.
And that's so scary, you know?
I know.
Like that was always like my fear, like being out there, like fucking around with drugs like meth and stuff. It's like you could really lose your mind and not come back from that, you know?
Yeah.
And we've seen clients like that who, you know, they get sober and it's still there a little bit.
Yeah.
I still have a hint of paranoia. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
I question shit all the time.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
like-
maybe that's healthy.
Maybe. I'm like,
Use it for good now.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like,
Healthy skepticism.
Yeah.
or I'll make fun of something, you know, like somebody will leave like an interview or something on a therapist, and I was like, she probably works for the DA's office.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem like a real therapist.
And everyone's like, okay, Chad.
They're coming to investigate me
Yeah.
for what? I don't know anymore. Probably for this podcast. Fuck.
That's what's next,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, we're just airing out the like truth of the business, you
Yeah,
know?
for real. The truth of the business is it's horrible. You know.
Yeah, fuck it. Like we have to.
The change has to happen.
The good
Yeah.
guys
And it
have to
has
come together. The
Yeah.
good
Well,
guys
see,
have
that's
to.
what you guys see. You guys are you know, see the world. The world's in a great divide.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's a spiritual warfare. You know, and they're trying to keep people divided based on politics,
I know.
and it's not going to work anymore.
No.
Like we come together for a common cause. Like that's what's cool about this podcast and this movement. It doesn't matter if you voted for Donald Trump or fucking Joe Biden.
Right.
It just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're coming in to make policy change, and they have to come together to make policy change.
Yeah.
You know, so if like 20,000 of us, 20,000. Why am I lowballing everything? I said $25. I'm like 20 million. 20 million. 20 million addicts are like, hey, well, you know what? You want to keep that chair? Then, you know, you need to write policy that's going to help work for us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For real.
Yeah.
They want to keep that chair.
Yeah.
And-
that is so true.
And luckily-
it's scary. This will scare them.
Yeah.
Because this movement is bigger than unions.
Yeah.
The biggest we're huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is, I'm just saying, just sober addicts and alcoholics is huge.
Yeah.
You wanna add in the parents of the loved ones
Right.
lost.
Imagine.
You know,
That's what I was going to say is that luckily almost everyone knows somebody who suffers from addiction these days.
Yeah.
Like it's not uncommon.
this has to be a bipartisan issue.
Yeah.
I think it can be. I think it can be one of those things that like crosses the party lines, you know, because
It can be
How
if we
could you
force them to
not?
not be idiots and fucking play this game against each other.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do.
Right.
This isn't a game. This isn't
It's
a
not a
political
game.
game. This is like
It's-
people's lives people are dying.
exactly.
And I say this every podcast right now. There are 300 people dying a day. That's an airplane. That's a large airplane.
Yeah.
That's a big airplane going down every single day. If that was if an airplane went down today, okay, we might not ground all flights, right? The airplane goes down tomorrow, and the next day, there is not going to be another fucking plane going out
Until they figure it
until
out.
they figure it out.
That is
And
a
that would be-
beautiful analogy.
Yeah,
That's
I
really
want to say
good.
that I didn't make it up,
Okay.
but
It's very good.
Yeah. I
appreciate the
Whoever
honesty.
did.
yeah.
I was like,
I like
did
to
you-
steal shit, but I haven't said it 3 times. And see, this is how I always felt in Narcotics Anonymous, and I was an NA guy. Is that if somebody said something, I heard it, I liked it, and then I said it 3 times,
Yeah.
it became mine.
Right. Fair.
Yeah,
Very
I've
good.
said
I mean,
this
that's everything in NA and AA,
Yeah.
right? It's all
Yeah.
regurgitated,
Yeah.
you know, like
What I'm finding out through books, audiobooks, and different motivational videos is a lot of the shit that's said in Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous didn't even come from them. It came from other shit.
yeah, probably. Yeah.
Outside,
I've heard that
cool
too.
stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just regular. Anybody can, you know, do one day at a time.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like a 12-step thing that we just used. We just grabbed it and
That's
and
ours.
Really, it's ours. That's what's cool. They do take shit and make it theirs.
Yes.
Checks out.
You ever go like type in on your phone, Google recovery quotes, and you get, you're trying to find a cool recovery quote.
Yeah. You guys posting it on your Instagram and stuff?
I post mostly motivational videos or clips of our podcast.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Really smart. Really smart. Yeah. But like back to the meat and potatoes, right? Like you were saying, like we're strong people, the ones that are getting sober and staying sober, like we are strong. Like, and I think addicts and alcoholics have this tendency to downplay themselves and their power, period, and we have to get past that. Like we do deserve good things. Yeah. We do deserve help, and so do the people behind us.
We're smarter than a lot of the people that we struggle because we don't fit the general population mold most of the time. Yeah. And that's because I don't know. I don't want to disrespect, but it's because we're more intelligent than a lot of the general population.
Yeah. Sorry about it.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's just a fact.
Yeah.
I think addicts are so talented.
Yeah. Right.
And
talented,
smart. And
sensitive, big hearts.
Exactly.
We're not ruthless.
Yeah. Like people think we are. Yeah.
We can be. Yeah. So don't put our back against the wall.
Please.
Yeah.
We don't want to do it.
Because we don't run.
Yeah.
We come out swinging.
Yeah.
We come out swinging out of the gate. We
just
have to be
resilient.
We have to be smarter though. We have to, we can't use our fists. We have to use our brains.
And our words. Our words. Like, we have more power than we think we do. And we just have to tap into it, not just go on with our lives. Like, okay, we have sobriety. Like, that's it. I don't need to give back.
That's not enough.
No, it's not.
Because what about the next one? You guys have been around the treatment industry for many years, and you can see that the only thing that's happening is the length of stays are shrinking, and the amount of money that the insurance companies are paying treatment centers is shrinking, which means they're going to try to put us out of business. But what keeps getting bigger is how much clinical shit we need, the amount that therapists or BHTs, all these people want to make. So our costs are rising.
Right.
But what we're getting paid is, it's already down here.
Yeah. And I feel like it's a hard argument for us who do work in the industry, right? Because it's going to sound like we're talking from a place of money.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like, I think that's why putting real people on your podcast, you can see people's hearts and like where they are, right? Yeah. Like, it's not about money.
No.
It's just not. It's about getting people care.
It's about getting quality care.
Quality care. Comfortable.
We have to be paid reasonable prices to be able to do that quality care.
And to provide it.
To provide that quality care.
Yeah.
So.
It takes a special clinical team, right, to do
it does.
This.
Oh, yeah.
And like, you can't have that if you're paying them pennies.
No. That's why county funded programs suck.
Exactly. And like, that's what we're going to offer only.
No, it's not happening.
No. Right. Right.
Even just on like
not
the
on my watch.
Health.
I know. I see that.
I love the passion.
Me
I
too.
really do.
We're here to help. I don't know what we can bring to the table besides a big mouth, but here we are.
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed. So and originally Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous, they're anonymous programs, right? And they taught us to they nowhere has anybody ever said that you have to recover quietly. But you could, right? That's why it remained anonymous. And at the same time, it also didn't matter what my title was. It didn't matter if I was Dr. Carlson, Mr. Carlson, Mrs. Carlson. None of that mattered, right? Yeah. It didn't matter if I had children or I didn't have a job or I had a job, a high-paying job. And that was the important thing about anonymous. And also sometimes people who have, high-powered jobs, these people can't know, otherwise they'll lose their jobs, lose their whatever it is, which is fine. I believe in all of that, but I believe that the rest of us who are out here doing this like this, we have to recover loud now. We can no longer be silent.
Yeah.
because if we don't, we're going to get stepped on.
Yeah.
Look at all of the other organizations, the LGBTQ community.
Yeah.
They're very loud.
Yeah.
They force change.
Yes.
The Black community forces change.
Yeah.
There's a really nice Hispanic coalitions that
Yeah.
force change. We're a coalition. We're just like them.
Yeah.
So
We're
true.
addicts and alcohol. And you know what's cool though is there's people in every single one of those. We got LGBTQ people on our side.
Yeah.
We've got black people, of course, of course.
Right.
You know, we got the Hispanics. We got white people. We got people from high class. We got Native Americans.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter because, like you said, who said it doesn't discriminate?
Yeah.
It doesn't discriminate.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And
Crosses all the divides.
it does, and we have to cross those divides back and come together as a unit.
Absolutely.
And everybody has to get past the differences in political views.
Yes.
That you come together for a common cause. Like I at the end of the day, if somebody's going to actually write change, that's where I'm going.
Doesn't matter who it is.
It doesn't matter who it is, but they're going to have to. We have to force them to come back together because the media has divided. They're so divided.
Yeah.
You guys ever watch like the?
It reminds me of little kids.
Political news.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Quite often.
Like
unfortunately.
You turn on CNN and it's like yap over here about Trump, and then you go on to Fox News and it's like, well, right now it's like
they might as well be calling. They might as well be calling each other stinky and ugly.
Yeah,
like that's how
things as well. So your kid doesn't die,
Yeah.
but it's hard because like parents are fix it, you
Right.
know,
Yeah.
and you can't just fix this, you know.
Yeah, it has to be the person wanting it.
Yeah, when I was cut off, I mean that was pretty much close to the end, for me. I was like, oh, this really sucks.
It does suck being out there on the streets. You get but interventions are better if you do them before somebody gets comfortable living on the streets, because once you get comfortable living on the streets, it's hard to rip whatever out from under them.
Yes.
Because they've learned how to live there.
Right.
They don't need their cell phone. They don't need your love and support. They don't need your financial this. They don't have a home. It gets hard, but we could save those people's lives too.
Yeah.
If we had the right resources.
Yes.
If there was money for them, we could pluck them off the streets, get them into treatment. Many of them want to go.
Yeah, of course.
Nobody really wants to live there. And I mean,
and people want them off the streets.
People want them off the streets. And
let's do it.
Have you guys heard what California's solution is to the homeless crisis? They're building these huts.
Yeah,
they're not.
Are you talking about in LA?
LA, San Francisco, just all over California.
Okay.
And they're charging $800,000 a hut. That's what the state's being charged by.
Oh, the state. Okay.
Yeah. So that money could be better spent on
literally
rehab and life skills and getting those people like sober living homes, get them to treatment, get them some life skills, get them into sober living.
Yeah.
Get them, that would
like
be less. That would be less than $800,000. That would be less than $100,000 per person per year.
Yeah.
And on top of that, many of those people will make it and start paying taxes.
That part.
Is that that difficult?
No, that makes a ton of sense.
Some
I
of
feel
them
like you have
won't
to
make
treat
it.
this. It goes back to treating the underlying stuff, right? Like you can't just give somebody a bunch of money or give them a place to live and say, "Oh, that fixed the problem." It's like, well, what caused them to get to the point where they couldn't, they were unhoused? Like, like we have to.
It takes a lot to get to that.
Yes.
From where many of us were to that.
Yes.
I went there. I didn't have a home. I mean, I was very resourceful, as people say, right? Meaning that if I didn't have a home, and it wasn't resourceful, I might take your car because I knew how to take your car, and that's where I would sleep that night.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a sad thing.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't going to do the shopping. But I remember a couple nights where I had nowhere to go.
Yes.
And I was walking the parks.
Yeah.
That's really sad.
I wouldn't go to sleep. I never went and slept on a park bench or anything.
Oh,
I walked until somebody woke up and, you know, I ran into somebody or I came up with some other scheme up in my head to, you know, maybe there was a bike over there that didn't have a lock. Yeah, you walk long enough, somebody leave their garage door open.
Mm-hmm.
You walk long enough, somebody's left a bike unlocked. I mean, it's bad stuff, but it's like you get
survival.
You get to a point where you have to survive.
Yeah.
You know,
get it.
and
I agree.
There's other things that we can do. Anyways, that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
But I could have you guys back on the podcast if you'd like.
Oh my
course.
God, I would love to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Keep on rolling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
We love a good discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
I get Shane in here too. He loves a good discussion too.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll really
Very
be
cool.
talking over each other.
Yeah.
He gets excited sometimes too.
Yeah.
He'll be like the Mike Malak of the podcast.
Yeah. Is that Big Mike?
Yeah.
From Logan Paul's?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in sobriety.
I know.
I like.
Wow, it must be hard in that crew.
Yeah, I mean, he did the same thing that we all did, you know?
Yeah.
He actually does the bike thing where I don't know if it's up and running, but he wants to have bicycles to like people starting out in sobriety.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
want to
like
get
these
him on the
little niches.
podcast. If I get on Logan Paul's podcast, game's over.
Yes, sir.
You know?
He's got quite the following.
Yeah.
So
20 million people on
Yeah.
Instagram.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
huge.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's all you need is one little connection.
He got in while it was hot, baby.
Yeah.
Vine.
Vine. Yep.
Vine. And here he is.
Yep.
He built an empire, you know? And good for him.
Yeah.
Even with all the, you know, stuff.
Controversy.
I think he has really turned it around, even if he's made mistakes recently.
Everybody
You know?
makes mistakes, right?
Exactly. His is just on a huge platform,
Right.
and he's still really young.
Yeah.
You know,
He is young.
in the grand scheme of things, he
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
He's making
Yeah.
a shit ton of money.
But, yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. But I do think he started. Oh, we gotta go. I forgot. I'm about to go into like Logan Paul lore.
This is Marky's niche.
Yeah.
She loves.
I will
YouTube.
talk with you about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
All right. Well, we'll talk again later.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
nice
Thank
having
you so
you guys,
much for
yeah.
having us. It was
Absolutely.
great.
It was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Okay. The end.
The end.
Oh my God, we did it.
And scene.